Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Saturday and welcome to this week's Loki video. We're going to be talking about the explosion of Loki worship, specifically in the modern era. One of the reasons why some stripes of Norse paganism take a bit of a dim view towards present-day Loki worship is because they will point out that there has been no evidence of Loki worship in pre-Christian times. There's no places named after him, no temples dedicated to him, etc., etc., etc. There are people, and these are not all Norse pagans by any stretch of the imagination, but there are some who honestly believe that to honor Loki is to dishonor the rest of the gods. Sometimes people will offer theories about why pagans in the modern day have taken such a keen interest in Loki. And a lot of the theories I've encountered boil down to, oh, well, people have the real Loki confused with the character Loki, or more specifically, the actor who plays Loki in the Marvel Universe, or that they are attention seekers and they're just trying to provoke other people to get a reaction. Now, in the cases of some individuals, I have to, with all honesty and openness, admit that those criticisms have merit. Uh, Unfortunately, this is a nasty little reality that I think is important to recognize. But those people who unfortunately fit into this nasty stereotype, they don't represent everyone who works with Loki. What about everyone else who works with him who appears to have honorable motivations, especially those people who also have healthy relationships with other Norse gods, even if they do have that special relationship with Loki? Something else is going on here, and the videos I've made about Loki over the past several months hopefully demonstrate what's going on in my own circumstances and what my motivations have been. But I do have a few theories on this topic that I would like to share in hopes of presenting a different perspective to anyone who might be suspicious of Loki and those who worship him, and to newcomers who might be contemplating attempting to work with him. Now, I've come to believe that certain gods tend to gain prominence when their influence is needed, and this is really the common thread of all of my theories on this topic. It's what ties them all together. So let's go through a few of the thoughts that have occurred to me, and you can let me know what you think of it. First, Loki is a master of wielding chaotic energy. Who better to teach us how to deal with chaos within ourselves or within our lives or in the world? Seems like a very obvious candidate to give people better coping mechanisms and also better ideas about how to make use of the opportunities that arise through moments of chaos. Second idea is that Loki is known to be sympathetic to the plight of people who feel like outcasts for one reason or another. I think it's fair to say that never before in human history have so many people felt like outcast and have experienced difficulty in finding community despite all of our technological advances that arguably should have made that easier or should have at least potentially bring people closer together, but instead it's had a noticeably opposite effect. Third is that Loki is a breaker of chains and a disruptor of stagnation. People do indeed feel chained for a variety of reasons, and they're desperate for something that will alter their circumstances, and they will cling to very self-destructive ideas that promise change because they don't know how to break out of unhealthy patterns. But then when they happen upon Loki, here's someone who has better ideas that are not going to result in your self-destruction, that will actually enable you to improve your circumstances and how you react to them. So that's another reason. Let's see. Four, Loki is highly adaptable, and he's known for being able to get a job done even if plan A didn't work, even if plans B, C, D, E, and so on didn't work. One way or another, he will find his way through to the objective. In an age where so many people's plans have fallen through and what they intended to have for their lives bears no resemblance to the reality of it, it's helpful and instructive to look towards a being who is known for overcoming considerable obstacles. See, and five, Zoki, Loki has a zest for life and a keen sense of humor, and both of those traits are in very short supply these days. And when someone can emulate these qualities of his, their lives are improved, and even people who suffer with mental illness, such as depression, find their symptoms a bit more bearable. So, if we look at it from that standpoint, it really shouldn't come as a shock that Loki has gained in popularity and why more people have been moved to work with him. And they're also coming away with a very different impression and experience of Loki than what previous generations of pagans might have had. Now, when the tide changes and what's needed changes, doubtless other gods will come to the forefront because it will be their talents that are needed in that moment. But I think by then Loki will have managed to have elevated his reputation amongst modern pagans, and he'll continue to be recognized as a god of importance and a necessary god. Of course, there will also likely be people who are Loki lifers and who will always focus their primary attention upon him, and this is as it should be. In ancient times, many gods had individual temples and groups of devoted followers, even if the community as a whole honored the entire pantheon or um, took special notice at different deities for certain festivals at different times of the years. So I think it's perfectly possible to reverence all of the gods, even if your primary relationship is just with one god in particular. It may be that the deity in question has a great deal to teach you, and you are welcoming those lessons. At all events, I hope I've shed some light on the phenomenon of Loki worship and even made the case for it a little bit. Let me know what you think about these theories. Do you agree, disagree? Do you have thoughts of your own that weren't mentioned? Tell me all about it in the comments section or on Discord at Blackbird's Brew. Speaking of which, if you have not already joined, there is a link to do so in the description box below, along with a lot of other contact information about where you can find me, my content, and things of this kind. So, I hope you will like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.